welcome to the show. I have a longtime friend of mine through the town here. I have Robin Bookter. Robin, welcome to the show.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Robin joins us. As you can see, she works for First Federal. Many of you will know that, but she joins us today in the capacity of the director of the Irrigation Festival, Kickoff Dinner, and Auction, right?
It's a mouthful, yes. Thank you.
Well, we've got to work together for a few years because there were a couple years back where I actually had the thrilled pleasure of getting to host this event as the MC, but it's been kind of different this year, hasn't it?
I know, but I'm expecting you to do that again too.
We will see. We will see. Like I said, my rates might be going up in the future, so we'll have to see.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, first, I wanted to kind of like loosen up a little bit, get to ask you a couple questions before we dive into the auction stuff and talk about festival, which is obviously a huge, well-known part of SQUIM. I want people to get to know you a little bit. So I'm going to ask you a couple personal questions so we can get to know Robin a little bit better. So first question, we're coming out of the winter frost. I'm giving you unlimited budget for a 10-day vacation. I'm writing the check. Where are you going and why?
Wow. Well, there's a couple places. My favorite is Cozumel, Mexico, because I love to strap on some oxygen and get down to the bottom of the ocean. I love to scuba dive and snorkel. I love the water. I love the fishies. If I was to go with my husband, it would probably be Kauai, because that's our favorite place to go together. Not quite as hot, not quite as many margaritas, but we definitely have a good time in the water.
Wow, scuba diving. That's awesome. That's very brave of you. I'm not sure. I like going under, but I'm not sure that deep. I've never done with the actual oxygen. That's awesome.
It took me a while, but man, once you do it, you just can't wait to go back. I was one day we were down there and we were flying with an Eagle Ray. It's amazing. It's huge. It was probably 6 feet across and it was brown with white dots all over it. And it was just right there. It just was flying by me. There's just so many neat things to see under the water.
And no fear? You don't get spooked by any of that stuff or thinking of any big like tiger shark coming up and having a little check-in?
No, I don't wear my jewelry.
No sparkles. Is that a thing? If you like just the shine and shimmer, is that an attraction aspect they tell you not to do?
Yeah, it's the only thing you really should be careful that you don't have any cuts, anything that's open, anything that could be bloody in the water, but definitely no sparkles, which is kind of hard for me because I love to sparkle, but
like bling bling.
No sparkles.
So Cozumel or Kauai, I like that. It's 9 o'clock and you need to unwind. And a lot of us, generally that routine now has become garbage television or something on Netflix or something. What are you doing just to let your mind veg out? What are you watching on streaming services?
Oh, right now I'm watching Heartland. It's tearing at my heartstrings. And I don't even like horses, but I think I do. I wish I had a horse now, but that's out of the question. But I've been watching Netflix
and Heartland. That was like as we got sucked into Yellowstone, and it sure made Sarah and I feel like we wanted to be Montana ranchers for a couple weeks. We were like, gosh, that John Dutton, we want to be on a ranch like that.
Yeah, very similar. In the summertime, though, at 9 o'clock, I'm probably still taking the dirt off of my knees because I will take daylight hours clear in to the day out in the garden. So,
well, that's the one benefit of all the dark winters. We get those long summers to go out and play, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Last question is, as we're coming into spring and the world's opening up a little bit, what are your top 2 places you're excited to go out to or you've been to, or restaurants, eateries, shopping, 2 places locally? This is your chance to shout out a couple local spots.
Well, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but there is a new burger joint coming and there's nothing better than a good burger. I'm from Texas, and Shadow Line Burgers and Brews looks amazing. So if anybody wants to look at their Facebook, it's mouthwatering. Gosh, there's so many places. We never really stopped going out to eat. We continued to try to support. And in fact, I was teasing them, some of the places like 101 Diner, the Mariner. I said, what? I'm not going to get served in a styrofoam container? It just didn't taste the same. So yeah, we frequent quite a few of the restaurants around here.
Well, that's part of that SQUIM strong mentality, is that it's helped keep people afloat during this weird time, but it's nice to see we're getting back to a little bit more normal dining, right? That's awesome. Well, thank you for being subject to my inquisition there. But we're here to talk about a subject near and dear to my heart, which is the Irrigation Festival, the kickoff dinner, the auction. Last year was the first year it went all virtual. There was delays. Obviously, COVID threw literally everything for a loop. But I know you were part of saying there's no way we're going to let some dumb pandemic stop the longest running festival in the state, right?
No way.
So can you talk to us a little bit about, I think by the time this episode airs, which will be this Friday, we're going to be on the eve and the precipice of the auction. Can you talk to me about what people can expect, how they can participate, auction items? I know that I'm just giving you the floor because there's a lot here to talk about.
Yeah, well, we actually went live this morning with all the auction items. So people can be looking at them and even start their bidding process this week. Friday, my team will be down at the casino decorating for the next day. We got so much cool stuff coming in. Our community is so generous. We have baskets from places that you would never imagine. We have gift certificates. And we didn't even go outside of Swim this year. We usually will try to get a trip to Victoria. Obviously, that's out. We were hoping to do a cruise. That's kind of out. We really wanted to make sure that the Swim community and businesses were actually focused on, and they came through. My gosh, we have so many. I sat all day yesterday with Michelle Rhodes, Lori Larson, Liliana Williams. We've been entering all these items. We have to take photos of everything. We have to put a little bit of a description. So every once in a while we get rejuvenated and start putting a little bit more, and then we have to go back and we edit. And there's so much with this electronic bidding now. It's amazing. Auctions are so easy, and you don't have to be present. That's the coolest thing, is you can be in Texas, and if I'm willing to ship it to you, I'll ship it to you. So there's all kinds of opportunities now for making money for the festival. The kickoff.
Let me highlight on that, because as someone who's been to many, many in-person kickoff dinners down at the casino, awesome, fun event. But in reality, the way it has always worked is there was tables in the back with all these great auction items, baskets, gifts, stuff donated by local businesses, whether they made the goods. So maybe Windrose was donating their own wine. We've always sponsored a basket. So we try to pick a theme and just like buy local stuff and jam it in. But basically the way it worked is there's probably 150 people in attendance. And it was pretty much only those people there could see and bid on the items. And not only did that limit you to 150 attendees, but there was also like a physical aspect to it. Like you had to get up and go check and like check the sheet of paper. Have I been outbid? Oh man, someone else has bid more than, like, there's a lot of back and forth. So how did last year's digitization and going virtual, how did that affect bidding and the number of winners? And then I'm sure you got some data on like how many views and people looked at stuff, right?
Yeah, and I don't have all the exact numbers, but I know you're a sports fan, but the competition is fierce. It's hilarious. Even I got into it and I finally had to turn it off because I thought, I've put enough into this. I cannot afford everyone that I'm being outbid on. You get a text on your phone. So once you've registered and you select one, all of a sudden you get a text. So you're continually getting outbid. And so of course the very last bidder will win. And we turn that off at 10 o'clock that night. But that's what got it. Some of these things were outbid over their value. It was so cool. So, and the fun that was involved. So what we're trying to do is get people to realize that this actually occurs. And that's hard part. Is, does everybody Facebook? No. Is everybody going on the irrigation.com website? No. So that's what we're trying to get.
They're not?
No, I mean, I'm on it all the time, but that's me. So, it's the reality is trying to get that word out that everybody can play in the auction. And yes, we used to have 200 people and we would literally cram these poor auction items together. So what we're doing now is trying to get good pictures. We're opening up some of the plastic. I'm so sorry.
Man, they got you on the bat phone. They're ready to see Robin today, man.
Monday morning, yeah. So this way, obviously, we can't stand that close together. And the nice thing about it is our team doesn't have to drag all that stuff down and get it all organized, because the casino where we always have it in the Club 7, there's always a band right after us, and we can't get in there till that morning. So it's an all-day deal, and then we have to get out of there in time for the cover band. So this has been actually a lot better. I just wish we could have all 200 people present, but we were excited about phase 3. So we have about half of those people there Saturday night.
So this year, unlike last, there will be an actual live audience, but it will be being broadcast online, correct? So, I mean, if for those of us that won't be in attendance physically, there's a way that people can not only watch the proceedings, right? Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, Silas Cruz, we hired him as a videographer. We got him last year, and he has done phenomenal work. I gave him some of the video. He redid the videos to have played in the background. He did my live auction slide, but he videotapes everything and broadcasts it live while it's actually happening. And you can click on the irrigationfestival.com and there'll be a link right there, and it will take you to that that program that starts at 4:45. 4:45 is the actual rollout of a pre-filmed float rollout. The float rollout is where, Guy builds this beautiful float and everybody gets to come see it. Well, now we've filmed it at a different time. The Royals get to get on it, do their little dance. It's all filmed. So that'll start just like always, except not physical. It'll be videotaped.
So when because this video will be going out Friday. So for tomorrow, folks, this upcoming Saturday, 4:45, you can tune in. You can click links on irrigationfestival.com. I'll, of course, have it linked here, but you can watch the float rollout, which is really cool. You'll get to see really high quality video too. So shout out to Silas, as someone who kind of geeks out on the video stuff myself. He's got a lot of great content, but then the actual procession and the event and auction goes, is that right after at 5 o'clock, or when does that kick off?
Yeah, so it starts at 5 o'clock, and that's when we go live to the stage, and you'll see the MC start off. And Guy Horton is our MC this year. And then we also have a professional auctioneer from Stokes Auction. His name's Jeff Randall, and he was actually at last year. He's been doing a lot of these virtual auctions, so he has great experience. He is such a ham. He and Guy really played well off of each other. And since they knew how it worked last year, it was nice to have that, since we do have to do it, hopefully just this one more year.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so just for those of you who haven't attended one of these, we talked about, there's almost like 2 sections of the auction. And obviously all these auctions are fundraising and raising funds to let the festival go on year in and year out. There has to be money to build these floats, to attend events, to do stuff. And it comes from the donations of our community. But there's 2 ways that you can do it. You can do the silent auction, which is going to be get out your smartphone or tablet, and you can set up an account and be, like she said, getting text message notifications, watching certain ones, kind of like eBay, what's going on and you're watching a little bit. And then there's also a live auction. That's what Robin was mentioning. There's Stokes Auction House comes out, and there's probably between 5 and 10 kind of bigger ticket cool items, right?
We do. We have really good ones after the following of the pinning of the Royals and the button winner. Then we have our traditional, we have the live catch where the board members fix you a dinner. We have the princess party where if one of your kids want to have a party, all the Royals come and throw you a birthday party or any kind of party, really. And then we do have some really nice things on auction this year. So that's the big live auction.
So there's 2 ways, and that's still done, and you can do it from home. And I think that the live auction still has a time frame. So it's not like, it doesn't close within 30 seconds. So you don't have to be watching it then and there. But the live auction is a little bit less of a lead up, because obviously people can be looking at the silent auction items now. But right. This is just 2 different ways that you guys can help, but as a viewer, as a member of SQUIM, to help support an awesome community event. I know myself and my family love attending. We love the kids parade. We love the normal parade. We have great aspirations and hopes for, when things go back to a little bit more normal. But for the time being, 2021 is going to be hopefully your last year going virtual. Robin, you happy about that?
Yes, I think we'll keep the campaign of auctioning though out, but we really are excited about people getting back together.
Well, I think, like you said, sometimes out of adversity, you find a blessing. And if you do this digital auction, and it allows you to not limit yourself to 200 people, because if you have 60 baskets and 200 people, it's like, how many people are walking away with 3-4 baskets? Whereas if you, spread it out and give everyone the option, whether they didn't want the prime rib dinner or they have kids that they can't get babysitters for, they can still be bidden from home, right? They can still be a part of it.
Absolutely. And then we've also got a really convenient way of picking those up. The food bank has offered their parking lot on the Tuesday following. We take all those auction items over to the parking lot, and you get to actually have a royal hand you your winnings. So it's really kind of fun because even if you weren't there, you still get to meet the royals.
Well, I'll give a couple shout outs. I don't know if they've donated, but just to give examples of items I have won in the past, because we have been known to bid and have the paddle up and bid. We've won a night stay at the Great Wolf Lodge. That was really cool that we bid on. We also have now bid 2 consecutive years on a 2-night stay at Purple Haze Lavender Farm. So it doesn't even have to be a big excursion. It was something that we wanted to do and kind of a break from the norm. So we're booked in this summer at Purple Haze. So there's lots of cool stuff. Gift baskets chock full of like tangible goodies and also auction items for like physical experiences, fishing lessons. There's all sorts that I've seen on there over the years. So I'm excited to see what you've come up with this year.
All right. I can't wait.
Well, officially your 15 minutes of fame are up. So people will see you at Shadowline Burger. They will see you at the auction. You'll have to have your Sharpie ready to sign autographs. Are you going to be okay with the fanfare?
Yeah, I think I'll be all right.
Oh no, you froze on the pose there, Robin. This is going to be the best exit I've seen yet, where someone has froze on the pose at the end. So anyways, if you've watched to the end, you've seen Robin frozen in a statue. Otherwise, I'm going to bid you farewell, and thanks for tuning into Clallam Corner.